Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, I'll be here at the Oxford Gun Company, which has worked out how to combine shooting with eating, drinking and love. First, come with me to Wales, where we learn to shoot foxes at unfeasibly long distances. If you want to test your kit and yourself to the limit, there's no better place in the country than the terrain offered by Andrew Venables.
This target will give you a great audible and visual signature when we're up on the hilltop behind us. So you'll find this one a very good medium for demonstrating what we're doing.
Tucked away in mid-Wales, the mix of targets, the satisfying distances over which you can shoot safely, and the unpredictability of the Welsh weather combine to make a visit here a real education, whatever your experience.
Brilliant.
The target market is really anybody who wants to excel with the rifles that they bought. It's anybody who wants to truly understand the capabilities of the kit they've bought, whether it's good enough for their expectations, how far they have to raise their game if they want to, if they want to achieve more in shooting, and how to test that kit and find out if it's appropriate. It's through training and practice that we all get better. I approve of any form of training. Some training leads to certificates. I'm not a great fan of certificates because people wave the piece of paper and they say, I've got this, I know it all now. Now I've been shooting since I was 7. I'm 51. Every day I'm up here, I'm learning something. If I'm out here with a client who knows nothing about shooting, I learn something about teaching. When I'm up here with people who frankly shoot and know better than I do, I learn something about what they do. So it's a constant exchange of information. We have target shooters up here, we have people who have never shot before want to get into it, we have hunters who want to raise their game. We've had people who have been shooting like Robert Bucknell all their lives, and they've described this as the best practical shooting experience they've ever had. And the most fun they've had. We're not shooting at live animals. If we miss, it doesn't matter too much. And if we hit, we don't have to stop the whole day shooting and go down and gralloch something and drag it back to the game larder, because we're practicing on steel, it's not sentient.
Sporting shooter editor James Marchington is here to get a lesson and some advice from Andrew about setting up his new rifle and to discover the sorts of distances he can confidently deliver a killing shot when after foxes.
I haven't got ammunition in. If I push the bolt forwards, we'll get the sling out the way. I'm lining up on the target now. I've got the rifle locked into my arm here, all right? Yep. And if I fire now, right?
Yes.
You're not actually breaking the position. No. What you see a lot of people do is they fire the shot and they go.
Yeah,
and one's changed everything.
Also here today is John Rigby from Zeiss with the latest glassware.
Oh yes!
That's awesome.
Hey, guys, you made the scopes.
The German company offers an excellent range for everyone with a rifle, from the professional to those on a budget.
We wanted to look at what sort of scopes people need to get for a foxing rifle, and I mean really there's so much to consider, and when you first go out to shoot something,
fairly complex.
There's a huge range of scopes with all different numbers and flashy badges.
Very true.
And,
the top end stuff, this is top end. This is as good as it gets.
Now that one we've used today.
We've been using it today. We've been using the ballistic turret on here, which you pop up and then you can move the clicks and pop down and it locks. Bullet drop compensator. And again, we've shown that it works, so we knew it worked, but it's great to get hands on and see that it works. This is on one of the new FL range scopes. This is the big one, 72mm objective lens, and 6 to 24 magnification. So this is the daddy. This is the daddy. Yeah. And it's fairly expensive. Sure. It's not for everyone, but if you're serious about what you do. Perhaps you're a professional, that is the scope to have. Obviously everyone doesn't necessarily have the budget, we realise that. Not everyone's spending that amount, especially in the current climate. So we've introduced a new range of scopes, and certainly I think this is the new Duralight. I think this is something that will be of interest to a lot of guys who are going out and fox shooting. It's very, very attractively priced. What we've done here is we've cut out all the ballistic systems, the illumination. It comes with one reticle. It essentially does what it says on the tin. It's robust, it's reliable, and it's just a fundamental sort of scope. These are going out, including VAT, at $665. And I think for a German made, which it is, it's German made glass on top of a rifle, that's a very, very attractive price to most people.
There are plenty of satisfied customers in the Cambrian Mountains today, endeavouring to shoot as accurately as possible, just to hear that satisfying dong seconds after the shot has found the target. Robert Bucknell wrote the Fox Shooter's Bible, Foxing with Lamp and Rifle, and is about to publish his next essential read. He too is enjoying the freedom the WMS Steel Challenge shooting facility has to offer. So what limits should you impose on yourself when out shooting?
The main things I see and learn up here, whatever the kit, people can perform out to all humane shooting ranges to a degree with, matched application of scope, rifle and ammunition. It's understand what you've got, learn how to use it to the best of your ability, and then practice. Because the funny thing I've noticed about hunting, and you'll have seen this too with your fox control, the more you practice, the luckier you get.
Yes. It's interesting when you've got a group of people and you're talking to them, and there's 70 guys there. And you say, right, how many of you have a full-bore rifle? So you've got a number of hands down. Okay, how many of you have sighted in at 100 yards?
Lots of hands.
All the hands go up.
Yeah.
And then you say, right, how many of you have gone back to 200 yards and seen where it goes? And we've got a reducing number.
Yep.
Okay, right. Now then, you're happy at shooting well at 100, 200 yards. How many of you have gone back to 300 and given it a try? And a group of 70 guys, you'll get maybe 3 or 4 who've actually gone back. And then you can see that sort of slight disbelief. Well, we don't shoot at 300 yards and I don't need this. And you say, well, hang on. Okay. You're sitting out early one morning and you're after a deer. And the next spinney over, a fox walks out. And it's your dog fox that you've been after for ages. And he comes out and the sun's shining and he sits down and he scratches himself behind the ear and he's taking the sun. And you're thinking, do I have a go or don't I? And if you can do so with confidence, you think, right, that's 320 yards, I know where my rifle's shooting, you're in trouble. Otherwise, it's just loosing a round off. And is it fair? Yeah.
And conversely with that, we do see up here that people, they shoot, we practice, we have fun, we play to a degree in a safe environment on targets like the sort of things you can see behind us. And if someone is 400 yards away from the white crow target up at the back there, and frankly they don't hit it, well, they hit it once out of 10 shots, there's a message there. Don't. It's inhumane. Don't bother about shooting at crows at 400. Yeah. If they're shooting at the rabbit target there and they're hitting it every single time at 200 yards and they're hitting it well centered at 200 yards, there's a message there too. If you're shooting at something the size of a beer mat at 200 yards with a good position, you can humanely deliver the shot. So we allow people to stretch out, have fun, and to learn at what ranges they can humanely do the job.
All this advice from these shooting professionals will be available to everyone when we launch our new Fox Shooting DVD in the autumn of 2010. We'll be looking at all the necessary kit, including lamps, calls, rifles and scopes, as well as covering day and night shooting and, of course, what are the safest and most humane distances for shooting Charlie. For more on this incredible range, visit www.wms-firearmstraining.org. And for more on Zeiss's wide range of rifle scopes, go to www.zeiss.co.uk/sportsoptics. Well, you can forget Paris, forget Vienna, forget Venice. For a really hot break with your lover, you've got to come here to Oxford. It's a shoot, eat and sleep weekend. What's behind the idea?
Basically to try and get new people into shooting, to try and push the shooting brand and show that shooting is a very popular and fun sport. We're trying to push people, townies basically, that are in the centre of London, centre of Birmingham, to come out into the country and have a country weekend away.
But they want to go for their city breaks to Milan and Paris and Venice and places like that, don't they?
Yeah, but come and spend a weekend in the country is better. Nice sunshine, weekend in the country, spend a nice couple of nights in a hotel or B&B.
So you could stay in the pretty town of Thame at the Spread Eagle. For peace, quiet and rural bliss, there's the Angel at Long Crendon. Or for a room with a view, you can try the Pheasant at Brill.
Look around you. I mean, you know, you can't pay for views like that. And it's good. We've got a good team here. We've got friendly staff, fantastic food, and it's really picking up. Well, we've just brought in a new chef. He's an old friend of ours, and him and my partner are in there, and they're cooking some great proper pub food. A little bit upper, you know, not upper class, but good quality pub food. We've got fantastic fish that we have on the specials board that comes in 3 times a week to us, and it's just all fresh, very good quality. You know, we have people come to stay with us that are shooting for the weekend, and vice versa. Hopefully we can put some business their way through our customers starting to use the gun club. I mean, we've got quite a few customers now that use it on a regular basis.
And shooters, are they kind of discerning types? Do they like their food and their comfortable beds?
They like their food, they like their drink, and they like their beds. Yes, very much so.
Our reputation's been built since we bought it in July 2008, really off the back of the strength of the chefs in the kitchen. Over the last couple of years, we've refurbished the function suite at the back, the Eden suite, and just recently, last week, have reopened the bar and restaurant here at the front after a long period of work and a lot of thought behind what the hotel actually needed. Well, in the 30s, the hotel was known as a sort of mecca for a lot of literary festivals, fetes, and also a lot of authors came and stayed here as well. So there's 8 bookends on the bar design, which we've had custom made by a blacksmith, and they're all books written by authors that stayed here in the 1930s. But we've kept a lot of the original character of the building. We've just converted another bedroom, which is called the hayloft, and that's actually where they stored all the hay for the horses when it was a coaching inn. We're sat in a cockpit lounge where they used to do cockpit fighting.
You've stopped doing cockfighting, obviously.
Yes, we stopped that only last week, surprisingly. But yeah, it doesn't go down well.
But in that area, I mean, now you're going to attract another dodgy group of people, shooters.
Yes.
Oxford Gun Company shooting weekends.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, we're hoping that it's something that we're keen to be involved in with another local business, and it's something that we do focus on a lot. But it makes sense that a hotel with a little bit of history, and it's a country house hotel in the middle of a town, and that does suit the sort of country and field sports element of the Oxford Gun Club. So we've been working together now for the last sort of couple of years on various ventures, but this is one of the most exciting that we're looking to develop. Obviously, with all the rooms being refurbished, the level of service and obviously the level of room that we can offer is definitely going to be matching with the service levels at the Gun Club.
Well, the Angel's got a growing reputation now for its great fish and seafood. He's centred in the centre of Oxford. It's quite a traffic area up and down the country. As I said, we're just off the M40. We have many good restaurants and hotels around the area.
But you're the best.
Well, we are, of course, yes. We're independent, and we have a variety of ranges, so we can use different dishes from all over. We have deliveries coming up from the Cornish coast of fresh lobsters on a daily basis.
Fresh lobsters every day?
Fresh lobsters every day.
Wow. Scallops,
so it's quite a lovely central location for a chef. We have the great gardens of Oxford where we have some of our local products grown here for us as well. We try to support the local people around us, and subsequently our customers like the fact that we're using fresh products straight from the fields, straight to the doorstep. As a chef, it's a great passion of mine to use those kind of ingredients. It's inspiring to be able to have the best product during the available seasons from local farmed asparagus or strawberries in season during the summer. So it's a good place to be sat in the centre of Oxford. We've got 4 rooms all en suite with different characters, low beams. The building dates back to the 16th century, so it's got a historic character. It's very little changed apart from redecorations, bathroom updates, and there's still very much wattle and daub walls, low door frames, and big iron beds. We just do like a restaurant with rooms, so we do a nice full English breakfast for you in the morning and somewhere to stagger up to at the end of a day in the bar.
Where would I take my wife to roundly beat her at 50 Sporting? Which stand would you recommend for me?
Well, you could go to lots of different stands if you want to be nice to her and let her win.
I always try and let her win, obviously.
Then you can go to a nice easy
like
stand, so she hits them and she smokes them as well, so she makes herself feel really big and clever. And then
she likes feeling big and clever.
Yeah, and then she might even buy the round in the pub first. You never know.
It's an original idea and could just catch on. A weekend in the Oxfordshire countryside on the edge of the Cotswolds could be on anybody's wish list as a great destination for a few days away. Oh, I didn't mention the shooting. Here's my chance to get in a little practice before I get home and pop the question about a romantic break in Oxfordshire. Finally, we're off to Woodbridge to catch up with famous ferreter Simon Whitehead, who's come up with a way to promote his favourite food. From Field to Fork is his new DVD on how to prepare and cook rabbit.
Nutritionally, it's very hard to beat, but a lot more people are hunting it now. You know, there's a few going out shooting with an air rifle, a lot of people long netting and ferreting, and you've got the rise of the farmers markets, and everywhere now is providing rabbit. So all we need to do is redress the simple issue of reintroducing those skills that were passed down from generation to generation on how to prepare an animal on a carcass to then cooking it, and that's why we did the DVD.
How to joint up a rabbit and then prepare it by taking off the sinew so that you can mince the rabbit or use the meat for pies, that sort of thing.
Everybody can remember the rabbit cooked badly in a stew. That's why a lot of people wouldn't want to eat rabbit, because mentally they can associate it with a bad smell. But you know, prepared correctly and cooked properly, all across the world, rabbit is held in high regard. It's cooked beautifully in every other country, seemingly apart from ours, and it's now we're starting to catch up and cooking it and giving it the credit it should have. And I think, as far as it being the poor man's meat, it's just because historically man was prosecuted for taking rabbits, and then of course it's not as high profile as your venison, which indeed is vermin in its own right, and the game birds and wildfowl, but in its own position, and when people are cooking it, rabbit can hold its own against any of the meat. I'm a ferreter, and locally I harvest the rabbits for the farmers, and up until a few years ago I was quite hypocritical in my view on rabbit, because you know we take them to the game dealers, and the game dealers were giving us not a very good price, and it wasn't until Steve and Marie Taylor, friends of mine, sort of said, well, you know, there's more to rabbits than this. And when we started thinking about it, it's like, yeah, there is, but in this day and age we're governed by legislation, and the days of taking them all to the butchers and the restaurants and the back of a truck are gone. So we had to have a little think, and because Marie's such a fantastic game cook, we were eating more rabbit, and when I take my ferreting days out, we have rabbit pies and the Kelly kettle on, and it's all very nice. And then we thought, right, we'll get the environmental health round, we'll get a little preparation building, and we'll go for it. And then all of a sudden, I'm not just a rabbit catcher, I'm an artisan producer of fine rabbits for Suffolk, because people are now worried about the provenance of the food. Now I, through my diaries and my memory, can tell anybody where their rabbits come from to 25 yards, because I know exactly which warrens and which fields and which farms they come from.
Well, Simon will be at the CLA Game Fair at the end of next week, and so will we. But not before our next programme, available to watch as usual from Wednesday evening. This has been Fieldsports Britain.